Welcome to horrorthingnews, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Kat, and you might be wondering, what is this thing? This is a brand new show that rounds up all the news about horror movies, streaming and TV, books and stories, tabletop, card and video games, kickstarters and crowdfunding, retro horror history, festivals, artists, props, collectibles and toys.
I'm Mark, and this episode is mostly brought to you by Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, vampires, and underwater Lovecraftian monstrosities. The biggest movie news of the Halloween weekend was definitely Five Nights at Freddy's.
The long-awaited Five Nights at Freddy's movie was brought to us by Blumhouse in an unholy partnership with Jim Henson's Creature Workshop. The puppet geniuses behind The Muppets, Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal brought the members of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria band to life.
Five Nights at Freddy's was made on a budget of $20 million. It had a monster opening weekend, earning $78 million in the US alone and $130 million worldwide. That gives the FNAF movie the third most successful opening weekend in horror movie history. It was only beaten by the movies It and It Chapter 2.
New horror movie The Morrigan starts shooting in Ireland in November. The Morrigan is the ancient Irish pagan war goddess. The feature-length movie is based on Colm Eastwood's original short film.
You might want to look out for writer and director Colm Eastwood's previous feature, Black Medicine.
The Morrigan will star Saffron Burrows. You'll know Burrows from Deep Blue Sea, a monster shark movie that features genetically engineered sharks, and the legendary Samuel L. Jackson and Stellan Skarsgård.
Scots actor James Cosmo will co-star. Cosmo made an early screen appearance in 1972 in Nigel Neal's classic The Stone Tape. Cosmo's probably best known as Jeor Mormont, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch in Game of Thrones.
Finally, The Morrigan will feature Toby Stephens. If you've not seen Toby Stephens as Captain Flint in Black Sails, you need to track it down right now. Black Sails doesn't get enough love. If you like pirates, you'll love Black Sails.
In streaming news, look out for Talk to Me starting to hit streaming services. This low-budget Aussie horror movie, based in Adelaide, was massive in cinemas. Its fans include Jordan Peele, Ari Aster and Peter Jackson. If you need it any more convincing, then check out the Talk to Me review over at Geek Chocolate from friend of the show and all-round awesome person, Michael Fled.
Talk to Me is brought to us by the nice people at A24 that gave us Midsummer, Hereditary, X, Pearl, and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
If you're already a Talk to Me fan, then you might want to get hold of your own Talk to Me playhand. The first production run sold out, but if you visit the A24 website now, you can pre-order from the second run. Hands are expected to ship in December, and they make a lovely thoughtful gift for friends and family.
If you're looking for a movie to watch right now, then stay on YouTube and search out Never Hike Alone 2. Never Hike Alone 2 is a 115-minute Friday the 13th fan film from the folks at Womp Stomp Films. Expect machetes, axes, and ice hockey masks as Jason returns to Crystal Lake.
Are you a deadly serious Friday the 13th fan? Original Jason masks from the Friday the 13th movies don't turn up at auction very often, but right now you could own a real piece of movie history.
This stunt ice hockey mask was one of the original prop masks that appeared in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives.
It's coming up for auction as lot number 136 at propstoreauction.com, based in the UK. The estimate is 15,000 to 30,000 British pounds, which is about 18 to 36,000 US dollars.
A lot more affordable is this brand new Nosferatu action figure from NECA. The ultimate Count Orlok is coming soon.
The Count Orlok action figure is 7 inches tall. He comes with 3 different heads, a nice hat, a variety of interchangeable hands, a set of keys, a letter, and even a miniature quill pen and inkwell.
If you want to own your own Nosferatu, then visit the NECA online website and keep an eye out for the pre-order details or pre-order through your local indie store. Ultimate Count Orlok is expected to appear in December.
In book news, everyone that loves vampires should already be collecting the Dracula Beyond Stoker journals. These new vampire fiction anthologies focus on a different character from Bram Stoker's Dracula in each issue. The first issue featured Dracula himself. Issue 2 focused on the bug-eating Renfield.
Issue 3 is coming out now with a cracking original cover by artist Cy Chinook. Issue 3 features the tragic life, death and rising from the grave of Lucy the Bloofer Lady. You can order Dracula Beyond Stoker directly from DBS Press or find it in online bookstores. I hope you like the story Frightful Things. Mark wrote it.
The Drift is the latest novel from C.J. Taylor. It's marketed as a thriller, but with an author that grew up reading Stephen King and James Herbert, you know her true love is horror. A crashed coach full of students, a stuck cable car full of strangers, an isolated chalet full of friends, a killer snowstorm is outside, inside one group a killer. But which one?
Coming soon from the British Library is the latest release in their incredible series Tales of the Weird. Circles of Stone promises folk horror wonders with weird tales of pagan sites and ancient rites. Circles of Stone will be out in early December.
Think about this for a moment. Who is your favourite horror movie Mad Doctor? Fab Press, the legendary publisher of high-quality books on cult cinema, have released the Fright Fest Guide to Mad Doctor movies. It's packed with sinister surgeons, mad medics, and psychopathic psychiatrists. So who's your favourite?
Is it Herbert West, Reanimator? He's in there. The Fright Fest Guide to Mad Doctor movies is available from all good bookstores, and most disreputable ones too.
Reanimator brings us neatly to Brian Usna's latest offering, on Kickstarter. Brian Usna presents Tales of Blood Island, based on the infamous Beasts of Blood Island creature features from the Philippines.
This Kickstarter has a bit of something for everyone. You want glow-in-the-dark undead barware, zombie tiki mugs, comic books, a Tales of Blood Island tabletop game with miniatures.
You know that your life will be incomplete without a Blood Island undead tiki mug. So head over to Kickstarter and back this project now.
In each episode of Horror Thing News, we're going to feature a podcast or an audiobook or audio drama. This episode, we'd like to recommend Pseudopod. The wonderful folk at Pseudopod have brought you new horror short stories for years, so if you're not a regular listener already, then check them out.
Pseudopod can be found on all good players including Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify and Pandora. If you're not sure where to start, I'd recommend episode 801. How to win a dance contest during an apocalypse in 9 easy steps. Written by Gwendolyn Kist. Enjoy.
Our featured artist this episode is the fabulous Iris Compiet. Iris is a traditional artist and illustrator from the Netherlands, a painter of fantastical beings. If you like weird and dark fairy creatures, you will love her book Fairies of the Fault Lines.
On Iris's website, you can shop for art prints, bookmarks and cards, magnets and stickers, pins and buttons, and even original artworks and sculptures.
You'll also be able to get copies of her books, sketchbooks, and notepads. You'll find some great interviews and tutorials from Iris on YouTube.
Guillermo del Toro, director of Pan's Labyrinth, Kronos and Hellboy, is a fan. Del Toro writes, "Iris Compiet is the rarest of artists, that who invokes a complete and cohesive reality with every image she creates, beautiful, powerful and contemplative all at once."
You can delve deep into the world of fairy creatures that Iris documents.
Finally, you'll find Iris's 2 bestiaries based on the creatures brought to life by Brian and Wendy Froud. The Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal bestiaries are dark and fabulous things.
In retro horror history news, it is the 50th anniversary of The Wicker Man. To celebrate, this folk horror classic has been out in cinemas and is available now in 4K.
All hail the Queen of the May. The legendary Christopher Lee is probably best known as Dracula, or maybe Saruman or Count Dooku, but he always said that he loved playing Lord Summerisle in The Wicker Man best. Lee is joined by Edward Woodward as Sergeant Howie, Britt Ekland as Willow the landlord's daughter, and the wonderful Ingrid Pitt.
The Wicker Man is a weird and curious thing. It has enough songs to be a musical, pagan rites and naked dancing, the Hand of Glory, the May Queen, and the Wicker Man itself.
This folk horror celebration of Beltane was originally one half of probably the best horror double feature ever. 50 years ago, The Wicker Man was a cut down second feature playing before Nicholas Roeg's Don't Look Now.
Also celebrating its 50th birthday is New York City's Village Halloween Parade. Back in the 1970s, it was simply the Greenwich Village Halloween Parade, made famous in a song by Lou Reed. The Halloween Parade has grown into one of the world's biggest Halloween events, with giant puppets, stilt walkers, masks, costumes, and more than 60,000 revellers out on the streets of Manhattan.
An ocean away in Edinburgh, Scotland, Halloween is celebrated at the Samhain Fire Festival. Edinburgh's revels are half as old as New York's, but they are rekindling Scots Halloween traditions in the original home of Halloween. The night is led by the Cailleach Var, the one-eyed, blue-skinned crone, Queen of Winter and the Little Sun, as she begins her reign over the dark half of the year.
Edinburgh's Samhain Festival is created each year by the Beltane Fire Society. These lovely people also bring the Beltane Fire Festival to Colton Hill on the eve of May. It is a wild night of pagan revels for all the family.
In games news, Dredge was released earlier this year, but if you've not played it already, what have you been doing?
A fishing video game might not sound like the most horrific thing in the world, but you're a fisherman out on the wide, dark seas that catches increasingly weird and eldritch Lovecraftian creatures.
Dredge was developed by Black Salt Studios based in New Zealand and published by Team 17. The look and feel is dark and eerie, with hints of John Carpenter's The Fog.
We'll not give away much of the story, but we will tell you that the official Dredge website has some great free wallpapers you might want to download.
In more movie news, Disney has announced a live-action version of Gargoyles. The 1990s animated Gargoyles is available on Disney+, with Goliath and his clan of medieval Scottish gargoyles relocated to the top of a skyscraper in New York City.
Jordan Peele, director of Get Out, Us and Nope pitched a live-action Gargoyles to Disney a few years back.
But Disney have signed up Kenneth Branagh to direct. Hopefully Branagh's Gargoyles will be more A Haunting in Venice or Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and a bit less Artemis Fowl.
Back beneath the waves in the dark of the ocean, there has been a teaser trailer drop for Iron Lung.
The Iron Lung movie is based on the hit indie horror game. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to be stuck in a rusted submarine navigating your way through an ocean of blood, you should play Iron Lung.
Iron Lung the game was made and published by solo game developer David Szymanski. YouTuber Mark Fischbach is self-financing the movie. He's set to write, direct and star with support from Szymanski.
And that's almost it for our first ever episode. Thanks for listening to the end. Horror Thing News is a lo-fi, zero-budget thing made from duct tape, PowerPoint and a cheap microphone, so we really appreciate you giving us a bit of your time. Please like, subscribe and share. Thanks.
If you want to join the weird Horror Thing News mutant family, then jump across to Linktree, where you'll find links to a survey and mailing list, our Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you liked the show. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Bye for now.